at the end of the speaker sharing, we will have a Q&A section hosted by the moderator. And without further ado, I would like to pass the time to our moderator today, Ms. Wendema, the economist of Hong Kong Trade Development Council. Ms. Marcus.
Thank you. Hello everyone. Welcome to the seminar on wines and spirits opportunities in Southeast Asia. My name is Wendema. I work for the research department of the Hong Kong Trade Development Council. And I guess most of us have started to see the growth potential of Asia's wine and spirits market since probably 2008, when Hong Kong removed its import duties for most alcoholic beverages and aspired to become the trading and distribution center for wine for the region. And as a matter of fact, the global demand for wine has been mainly driven by Asia in recent years. And according to the industry, wine consumption in Asia as a whole is expected to grow by 10 to 20% every year in the medium term. In China, in Asia, China is a big market, of course. Japan, South Korea, Taiwan, also big markets with good potential. But what about Southeast Asia? Southeast Asia has a large Muslim population, and the consumer of alcohol is forbidden among Muslims, which seems to constrain its potential. Are there still good opportunities in Southeast Asia for wine and spirits? So today we are very honored to have speakers from this part of the world to tell us about the wine and spirits markets, specifically in Laos, Indonesia, and I can tell you because they are actually buyers, so there are opportunities, even though I raised the question about Muslim populations. So for sure there is demand. Now, let's start with Indonesia. And well, we know that Indonesia is populous with 242 million people, but I think this is, has a large Muslim population. I got some number here. In 2011, the import amount of alcoholic beverages, which include beers, all sorts of wines and spirits, is about 12.5 billion US. So maybe Mr. John, you can tell us the prospect of the Indonesian wine market and any trends you would like to share with us. Also, please introduce your company and tell us about your sourcing requirements. So I'll pass the time to Mr. John. Please.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Andre. Sorry for it looks unprepared. Actually, I supposed to speak at the end, but now I speak first at the first. Okay, first of all, my name is Andre Tjongoro. I'm a wine sommelier in Jakarta, Indonesia. And today I will talk about wine in Indonesia. The nature of my company is actually we just educate people, and we buy wine from Hong Kong and also European country, and our company is actually we teach people about how to drink good wine. So I put a brief introduction about Indonesia. Indonesia is, as you all know maybe, is number 4 most populated country in the world. So we have more than 100 million in population. And the capital city is Jakarta, but the most well-known island of Indonesia is Bali. So actually Bali is a part of Indonesia, but a lot of people think Bali is another country of Indonesia. It's not. And number 3 is more than 88% of the population. I think it's more than 88% of the population are Muslim, in which I think this is important because in Indonesia, alcoholic drinks such as wine, beer, whiskey, or any hard liquor is prohibited by Muslim laws. The last is as an emerging country in Southeast Asia, the consumption of wine per year is increasing, and for the past 5 years, we have there are two versions. First version is the real amount that is noted in the by U.S. Embassy. It's about 25 to 30%, but since there are a lot of ways to import wine to Indonesia, I think this amount could be double, for example. For the market overview in the Indonesia market, the consumption of wine is very high demand is on the red wine. For example, the Merlot or other full body wine is still #1 choice for Indonesian market. Why is this happen? Because in Indonesia people like to have more of the full body wine instead of dry wine. This is because the food and it will enhance the taste of the food, because our food is some of them are spicy and full of herbs. The second one is for the white wine is the consumption of Riesling is still the most favorite in Indonesia because of the fruitiness. And the last but not least is the consumption of dessert wine such as ice wine and Tokac wine that I have in front of me. Because of the sweet taste, and again Indonesian they like sweet and spicy, so this is a real two things that is complement to each. And the last that we can get from my analysis is that I believe in Indonesia, because of the level of the medium and high level society is increasing over time, I will surely think that the consumption of wine as a lifestyle is also increasing. As you know, people can wine price in Indonesia is not cheap, but with the increasing number of medium and high level people, then I think they can start to afford to buy wine. Last is if we talk from externally, which is the amount of the tourists who come to Indonesia, such as from America, from Australia, which is they always go to Bali, and with the increase also of the positive effect of wine, because now in Indonesia there are news saying that wine is healthy, so I believe that by having this external factor of tourists and the health, that it will make Indonesia wine consumption grow from year to year. For the source requirement, I can tell you because I teach wine every Friday in my company. Still, the consumption of red wine is the highest. Again, because as also the factor of health concern, and in Indonesia there are a lot of people who import more red wine, so the price is cheaper. The second is the consumption of white wine is increasing, especially German wine such as Riesling, and also Riesling is very fruity. So people in Indonesia they like a bit fruitier wine, a little bit more fragrance wine. Last is not least, the example of let's say like the ice wine and the Tokac. Soon after the market is increased, I mean after the people get a lot of awareness about this kind of wine, I'm sure enough that this wine will be a big success in Indonesia. The market regulation, as one of the biggest Muslim country in the world, actually the alcohol consumption is prohibited by Muslim law, but there are still ways to bring wine to Indonesia. So for example, I can find out there are about 6 wine importers in Indonesia that are importing wine. 4 are duty paid, 2 are duty free. And the import duty and taxes for wine in Indonesia is about 300%. So can you imagine how expensive this wine when they go to Indonesia? Okay, thank you for your attention, and if you have any question, please feel free to ask.
Thank you, Mr. Zhong. And I guess afterwards we can have some discussions or questions to Mr. Zhong later. And so now we return to Laos. Well, I have to admit that I don't know too much about Laos, let alone its wine market. So I only know that it's a rather small country in Southeast Asia in terms of population, about 6.5 million. Similar size to Hong Kong. And well, maybe I just pass the time to Mr. Roland to give us a presentation on the Laos wine market.
So hi everyone, so my name is Lambert, I'm Sales and Marketing Manager in Annam Fine Food. So I be part of Annam Group, implanted in Vietnam. So this is our distribution network. So the group set up in 2000, and with the success they decided first to extend the market in Vietnam and then in Cambodia and Laos. So there are now around 500 employees in Vietnam, around 50 in Cambodia, and 20 in Laos. So Annam Fine Food Laos were founded in 2007. We have different brands, so we have the head office in the capital, Vientiane, and we have also a branch in Luang Prabang, which is the main touristic place in Laos. Our activity, we didn't focus only on beverage. We also provide food, so fresh food and dry food from France and Italy. And we have almost 2,000 references in our company. And as I said, we are only 20 employees, but we are growing with the market. So the Laos, the capital is Vientiane, with 400,000 people, so it's less than Indonesia. The language is Lao. We are on the ranking, really bad ranking, 163 out of 185. So we have, of course, some barrier because as a poor country. And the population is around 6.5 billion. Currency is the lakh, and the Civil Party Socialist Republic. So what about the economic situation? So we have to know that the cost to export and to import is really high in Laos, as you can see on this map. So it's the worst in Asia. And time to export as well. The time to export and to import is decreasing, but it's still important. It's around 25 days to time to export and import. Here we have our beverage portfolio. So we import New World wine and Old World wines, mainly from Australia, France, and Italy. So the market overview. So our target is mainly HoReCa, so restaurant and hotel. So we have our main customer are in Luang Prabang, the touristic place as I said before. But in Vientiane also we have some hotel and mini marts and restaurants. So the trend of wine is of course more for red wine. So our sale is around 60% of red wine, 25% of white wine, and only 5% of rosé. It's quite hard to provide and to sell this kind of wine in Laos. For the champagne, so Lao people love like the brand name. So for champagne, for example, it's Moet Chandon. But we sell more sparkling than champagne, like 60% of sparkling and 30% of champagne. And for the spirit, I don't sell spirit, but the things I know, they love whiskey and they consume a lot of Black Label, Johnny Walker whiskey, and cognac as well. So the wine range average. Mainly our customer asking us some wine between $9 and $12. Up to this price, it's quite difficult to find some customer, except some special wines. But the market is not enough developed to sell really expensive wine. So we focus on prices between $9 and $12. So we sell on the market. You can find new old wine like from Chile, Argentina, Australia, and also from France and Italy. About outsourcing requirements, so I'm looking for some low and middle range wine, mainly from South America, which is really famous now in Laos. But also I'm still looking for some French wine, especially from Bordeaux, because a lot of people love Bordeaux wines. The price here so will be between $3 and $6, and then because we have high duties, high taxes. And the market also, so as I said before, we import from Australia, France, Italy, and the regulation is really high. So we have high custom duties. So if you have good connection at the border, it's okay, but the high duties are really high, and reserving in instability as well. So thank you for your attention. If you have any question, don't hesitate to ask us or contact me by mail. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Roland. And now we can turn to India. And well, I got some numbers again. India's import of alcoholic beverages in 2011 has doubled in the past 5 years, amounting to 224 million US in 2011. So I would like to invite Mr. Hokan to tell us about the wine and spirits market in India, and for example, why was there such a surge in imports into India in recent years, given the large Muslim population, and Mr. Zhou, Mr. Roland, I guess the audience will also be interested to know about your company, and could you introduce your company and also tell us about your business and sourcing requirement, or just share anything you think are relevant and interesting. We prepared a PowerPoint for you. Okay, so. Sorry, some technical problems. Later on we will have a question and answer session, so you can prepare some questions, and so later on we can have some exchange with our speakers, ask some questions, okay?
Respected members of the dais. Good afternoon, my friends, ladies and gentlemen. I am from India, and I am the chairman of Flamingo Wines Company Private Limited, as well as I represent my country. I am the chairman of Indian Grape Processing Board, which is also called National Wine Board of the country, and which is under, this is a government body, and which comes under Ministry of Food Processing Industry. So, I would like to represent my country. My country is actually India. Everybody knows India has got a very large consumption of the spirit. And the wine story has just started a decade ago. But in our country, we have a very good climatic condition. We have got a certain season. You know, everybody is discussing about the ecosystem. Everybody is discussing about the global warming and all those. Yet we have got a certain season, we have got a rainy season, we have got certain winter. We have got a lot of sunshine in our country, so the soil will get roast and it produces a lot of flavors. So flavor is one of the major important aspect of the wine. And surprisingly, most of the people of the world, from the old world and the new world, when they visited our country, and when they tasted our wine, it was surprisingly it comes very nice. So the terroir, our terroir is much suited for the grape growing as well as wine making. We have got very small consumption right now, even though we remain a very big country after China. We are sitting on 1.2 billion people. And so India is a very emerging market for the wine. And now the movement has started. Things are now moving up and it's really shaping up. And there is a huge gap I'm looking to, because our per capita consumption is just 12 ml, that is 1 teaspoon. So we need to fulfill the gap, fill up the gap. So there is a huge gap. And we are growing, India is growing per capita per annum, we are growing by 25 to 35% each and every year. And the growth is consistent since last 10 to 15 years. So it has got very nice potential, a big potential. I don't want to get it into all these kind of the figures and all those things right now. But you can look at all these figures. It's amazing. And the Indian economy, even the recession start over the world since 2008, and the GDP growth rate of the India is much more higher. So we have our people has got very good disposable income, and but we are the country fragmented into different segments of the market. We have upper class, upper middle, lower middle, and lower class even. So we are divided into 5 income groups. So we need to have all kinds of wine to cater the entire Indian market. Now, very important thing, I can tell you the story. Earlier we were having our own cars, but it was this car. It was a tradition, and then our government has opened up the policy to join hand with the multinational company. We have got now Toyota, BMW, all these cars are with us. So now we have got all these cars, and the story has started. I just want to adopt the same story for the wine. So if the people, the wine producer would join hand with the Indian local manufacturer, with your expertise, you can very easily cater the Indian market. Because see, if you want to deliver your bottle to Indian market, most of the money goes into the system. That is CI cost and duties and taxation and all those things. But you can produce a very nice quality of wine, same quality of wine above. It could be the different terroir, but you can also go for good quality of wine with your expertise. So I would like to appeal to all these my friends to join hand with our local manufacturer and just to cater the Indian market. So this is we could do because India has got very big potential for wine. India is a spirit market as well as we consume a lot of beer even. So our wine is the future need. So I just want to appeal all these people. Here we have one winery. The first winery, it has started in 1971. That is Chateau Indal. So we have a different grape growing regions in our countries. The most dominant is Maharashtra, followed by Karnataka. So India is divided into 30 different states, United States. So the most of the states now they have started producing wines, and actually we are have started right now the wine-based spirits. Most about 6 to 7 companies from France, Italy, Australia, and they have started. They have joined hand with the local people. They have started their manufacturing in our country. Moiten, Hennessy, Moiten Changan, Remy Martin, even they have tied up with one of our company. And most of the leaders of the world, now they have started joining hand with the Indian company. So I am more interested the people to join hand to make an investment in our country. And now, just recently, a month ago, India has opened up the FDI, foreign direct investment, that has in the retail stores that has opened up. So there is a great potential. So I appeal to all of my friends, please come and join hand with all the Indian players. So thank you for this HKTDC giving me the opportunity to share the thought with all the potential people. Thank you very much.
Thank you all for sharing. I want to come back to one question actually mentioned by Mr. Zhou and Mr. Wallen, but not from Mr. Hooper's presentation, which is about the wine storage and transportation problem. Because I want to know, is wine storage and transportation a problem in your country? Because we know that the weather in Southeast Asia is humid and hot, and electricity supply may not be very stable always. And but for wine specifically, we need the temperature and humidity to be controlled during transit and storage. So could you tell us what's the situation in your country about wine storage and transportation? So about because the weather in India, in Indonesia, in Laos, in Southeast Asia is pretty hot and humid. So, but we need the wine to be the temperature and the humidity need to be controlled very good during transit and storage. But so, what's the situation in your country?
That is true that we are in a subtropical condition, and we need to maintain the temperature, and the temperature is one of the major parameters to maintain the wine for the keeping quality and shelf life of the wine. So it is very right now the post-process management for the wine is very difficult. Sometimes the temperature that rise about 45 degrees Celsius in summer. So it is very difficult to survive any of the great wine bottle in that condition. So, but now we are thinking a lot about all these things. We have developed a cold chains throughout the country to store the wines and the similar products. So we have a very nice, our ministry is taking care to provide the stores, and even retail stores, they have started having the wine coolers and this kind of facility in our country. Transportation also, we have a refrigerated container. So we take care of all these transportation and all those things. But only the problem occurs mostly in the summertime. At some region, not the entire country is very hot, but some region are little bit cold, which is close to Himalaya. These regions they don't have any problem. Thank you.
Okay, for the transportation question, I would like to answer in a simple step. There are few ways to transport wine to Indonesia, or not only wine but other goods. There are the fast way or the long way. The long way means everything is following the rules, which is very, very strict, and it can take you about 8 weeks for your wine arrive in the port until arrive directly to your place. Or there are easy way which only take you few days, but the important is networking. Who you know, how much you are willing to pay. So this is, I say, gray area to transport wine to Indonesia. But with such a long time, I mean, Indonesia is like all the way from three of us. Indonesia, I think, is the most southern part from European country or from US or from all the wine producer. We should take the longest time to arrive. So what I have witnessed so far is that people are using the refrigerated container for sure to keep the wine at the normal and not too hot temperature, because as you can see in Indonesia the weather is always at least above 39 degrees Celsius up to 33 degrees Celsius, which I think it's will harm your wine. Plus our humidity is so high, which is average about 80+%. So that's why it will ruin the wine. And the second question is about the conservation of wine. Normally when wine is considered in Indonesia as a luxury item. So when you able to buy wine, that means you are able to buy the wine cellar, or normally you put in the air conditioned room. Like for me, for example, I have my own cellar which can hold up to 800 bottles, in which I think that I always keep my wine over there. But for most people in Indonesia that I know, because I teach wine and I teach them how to store wine, normally people in Indonesia, they make a special room with one aircon and set it up as at 15 degrees Celsius to conserve the wine, so it can store for a longer time. Okay, that's it.
And what's the situation in Laos?
Well, in Laos we have we have two ways. So the longest way is directly from France. So it takes around 2 or 3 months. It depends. So we like special order. So we import the dry food and the food and the wine as well in the same container. And when we are run out of stock, we can import it from Vietnam as well, because we have the group is implanted in Vietnam. So when we need a special order or wine really fast, we order directly from Vietnam. So when we import from France, it's take until Bangkok and then by truck until Laos. And for Vietnam, it's by truck. And what about the storage? The storage, we have in our company we have a big cellar, and then to distribute in Laos, because it's quite warm as well, we do it by car directly.
And a related question is about customs clearance. Because again, we can't afford if when we're shipping some expensive wines and then some bottles are being opened for checking or some broken. So is there any problem when going through the customs? Can you tell us frankly what's the situation when importing wines to your country? Any complications arise when going through the customs? Problems when going through the customs?
No, there is no problem for the custom clearance, but now we are working on a standard. So, looking to consumer safety, we have a different standard, that is Bureau of Indian Standard. So, you have to pass through this Bureau of Indian Standard. So, that is only if it is as per the product is as per the Bureau of Indian Standards for the wine, then it's okay. There will not be any major problem getting the things into our country. Custom clearance and all those is not a big problem. well because a lot of wines are coming to India. The imported wine stake is about 40% of the total wine consumption. So the wines from different countries, they are coming to India in more and more numbers.
So as I said during my presentation, custom fees in Laos are really expensive, and also to import it, you have to get good connection at the border and try to escape this problem. So in Laos it's working like that, and because you need also a lot of documents to import the wine. So yeah, in Laos especially you need a good connection at the border.
I think I already answered this question during my presentation. It's actually depends on how you know how you want to take the way, the long way or the short way. But as long as you have complete documentation and you know the right person, then importing wine to Indonesia is not as difficult.
Well, maybe I can open the Q&A session to the floor. Any questions? This gentleman?
So I was surprised. What's the microphone?
Wait for you.
I usually don't use one. All right. So I was surprised to find that in Asia, a lot of the wine that you see on the shelf and at the restaurants and in hotels is actually on consignment. So it's not really owned by the hotel. So as a supplier, you don't get your payment until that wine is purchased by a customer. How does it go usually in your country? Do your retailers buy the product outright, or do they shelve it and hold it in stock unpaid for it on consignment, waiting for somebody to buy it, then pay the supplier?
Well, I'll start. So for our example, we have a big seller in Laos. So normally we have in stock. So when usually we come to the hotel, as you say, we present the wine, and normally we have in stock. But as I said before, if we don't have in stock, we import it directly. That's the faster way from Vietnam.
Now, when you import it, is it already paid for?
No, they pay. You mean if they pay before?
Yeah. Do you pay on the?
No, we paid it before, and we sell after.
Okay.
And also in Laos there is a interesting thing, but as well special things. There is some company who are doing consignment. So they let the wine in the hotel or in the mini marts, and after each end of month you have to pay if you sell it or not. The customer pay it if it's selling or not. So for our company, it's quite hard to struggle against this technique, because the main competitor do it, and it's a different way to do business, but they do it in Laos also.
Okay, for Indonesia market is, I can say it's almost the same with Laos, but just to rephrase your question, you say that sometimes the customer, they don't pay the importer first, right?
Yeah. So for example, if we're a producer in in a country, and they want to take possession of the wine, as a producer, we prefer when they take possession of the wine that they pay for it, maybe net 30, net 90, something like that. But I've noticed in Asia that it's different than the United States, where they want to take possession and they wait until it's sold. And after it's sold, then they want to pay.
I think that way it doesn't work in Indonesia, because why? Because as you know, the importer of the wine is only 6. You cannot import yourself, even several people of the winery, but if you don't have the license, you cannot import to Indonesia. So most of the wine, if like let's say I own a restaurant, I want this wine, I will tell the importer, look, I have this quantity of wine, can you import for me? And everything we have to pay them. So we cannot just without doing any cash.
Okay.
Everything must pay by cash.
Better.
To answer this question?
No answer for me.
Any more questions? Alright, maybe if you have some questions. questions you may want to come on stage to ask our guests later on. So today, thank you very much. Especially thank our buyers from Indonesia, India, and Laos, and give us a very good presentation